All right, FightHype.com. Sean Zattel here with Ireland's own Jason Quigley, top contender at 160 pounds in the middleweight division, facing Shane Mosley Jr., Sugar Shane Mosley Jr. in a very, very intriguing undercard fight of Devin Haney versus Jorge Linares, May 29th in Las Vegas. Jason, man, I got to ask, did you watch Shane's father, Sugar Shane Mosley, growing up at all when you were a kid?
Yeah, I think any boxer around my age has watched Sugar Shane and has idolized him, and definitely the man is a legend in the sport of boxing. And I think there's a lot of boxers my age that know of him and rate him very, very highly and look up to Sugar Shane.
Was there a fight in particular that stood out to you? Watching him.
Obviously, the time that he rocked Mayweather and nearly had him out of there. That's definitely whenever we mention Shane Mosley, that's one of the things that come into my mind right away.
So what's it like for you, growing up watching this guy and now you're fighting his son?
Well, it's not his dad, so it's like at the end of the day, it's just his son, and he's a different person. He's a different fighter. He's a completely different human being altogether. He just has his father's genes, really. You know what I mean? And it's I suppose the closest, maybe one of the main things is it says I'm fighting Shane Mosley. Not might not be the legend as his father was, but Shane is going to try his best to write his own path and maybe become something that his father once was. But that's something that I'm planning on stopping, and he's not gonna get there through me anyway, that's for sure.
Jason, what do you think of him as a fighter? Do you see him as on your level?
Look, Shane's a great fighter. He does a lot of good things in the ring. He also has a few mistakes that he does, and we've worked on a game plan, and we've had a great training camp for this fight. We're looking forward to getting in there now, doing our game plan to the best that we possibly can. Me coming in there the best version that I can possibly be, putting in a great performance and coming away with a victory.
And happy birthday, Jason, for everybody watching.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're 31 now, Jason?
30. Go easy.
Yeah, I know. We're in no rush to get older in our 30s.
Just coming into my prime.
But is this a fight you've been eyeing for a while? I think I heard, it was tough to get this one off during the pandemic and what's been going on with COVID. But have you had your eye on this fight for a while now?
Yeah, this fight was brought up, I think, before Christmas, and it was meant to be happening in January in Russia, right, on a Kovalov card, but obviously things didn't go to plan there. And it was meant to be in February. Then again, things didn't go to plan there because of COVID. So now it's finally getting made. It's here, and we've had a long time to get ready and to prepare for this fight. So it's a matter of now putting all that hard work to the table and taking care of it.
Yeah, and people, Oscar De La Hoya, your promoter, he looked at this as a crossroads fight, that this is a must-win fight for you or Shane if you're going to be able to fight for the middleweight world titles. Do you look at it like this too? Is this do or die type of fight?
Yeah, well, I think in boxing, every fight is a very important fight, because one loss in boxing, people's going to throw you right under the bus, and just that's probably one of the hardest things about boxing is once somebody's defeated, they're like, they're no good, they're finished, they're washed up, that's it, forget about them. Whereas you come back and you get one good victory, one or two good knockouts, and next thing you know, he's amazing. He's going to be the next world champ. That's where you have to have a very focused mindset, a very tunnel vision on the plan and process that you have planned out for yourself. Stick to that, be disciplined to that, get in there, take care of business, and write your own path and write your own story.
What do you have to do in the ring next Saturday, Jason, so that's the talk again? Is it, like you said, after one or two great performances, now it's right back to we want to see him fight for the title. What do you have to do to produce that kind of performance next Saturday?
I have to get in there and I have to perform to the best of my ability. And, you know, I know by getting in there and giving it my absolute all, doing everything that I've been working on in the gym, getting in there, as it says, look, getting in, putting on a performance, looking good, and coming out with that victory. And that is the key part.
What are the qualities you have as a fighter? You know, talking style, technical speed, whatever may have you, Jason, that'll make you win this fight and can also make you compete with Jermall Charlo, Demetrius Andre to become a champion in the division.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of things there that I have in my arsenal, and it's each fight is different though, because you have to use different attributes. I'm not just a really one-dimensional fighter, and once you see me this way, you're not going to see anything different. For me, you know, I think I've got a smart boxing brain on my head, and you know, I can use my feet, I can use my hands, I can be fast, I can be strong, I can do different things in my armor. And yeah, look, we've been working on a few things now for this fight, so that's what I'm going to concentrate on and get in there, use that game plan, and yeah, look good doing it and come away with a victory.
Is Ireland always on your mind when you're fighting? You know, like of course we got Mexican fighters. They look to always represent Mexico, even when they're born in the United States. They look to represent Mexican culture. And is that something that you take into mind, or as you're getting older now, is it more just like, you know, I'm Irish, but I'm just trying to do my career here? You know, what's it like, Jason?
Yeah, look, every Irish person is very proud and passionate of where we come from. Every time I have a fight coming up, the Irish people get behind me immensely, and it is unbelievable the support that us Irish have in each other, whether it be boxing or football, whatever sport it is that you do. Once we represent our country, the whole country gets behind us. And yes, of course, I'm very passionate and very proud to represent my country every time I get through those ropes.
Well, you know, we had Carl Frampton, of course, do some great things, but he came from Northern Ireland. You know, would it be great for a guy from, you know, Ireland to become world champion?
Yeah, of course, without a doubt. Like, it's, you know, we've had the likes of Andy Lee, my coach. You know, we've had the likes of Steve Collins, Barry McGuigan. You know, these brilliant fighters, and you know, now I think it's time for another one to come on the block and start making some noise and flying that Irish flag.
Yeah, how's that like working with Andy? He's literally been in your division from your country and won the title in the division you're at. What's it like? And Andy works with a ton of good fighters. He works with so many good fighters off the top. I can't remember some of them are.
Yeah. No, like Andy is he's a great person. He's a great coach. He's a great friend, and you know, we've been working very, very well together, and everything's been going great. We've had a great training camp, and you know, yeah, Andy's a top class man, and you know, I'm very grateful to have him to have him as my coach.
And yeah, that, you know, he learned from Emmanuel Stewart, right? So I imagine not just he learned how to fight from Emmanuel, but he learned how to coach from Emmanuel too, right?
Yeah, of course. You know, Emmanuel is one of the best coaches ever, and to have Andy with that vast knowledge of everything that Emmanuel has trained him. Of course, he's using that in his armor and his game of coaching as well, and that's a great plus and positive for me as well.
Is he ever getting in there and sparring with you, Jason?
No, Andy hasn't. Once Andy retired, I think he says that was it. He's going to put the gloves up, and I don't think they're going to come back on him again.
Did you ever, when you were younger and he was still fighting, did you ever spar with him?
Yeah, I think Andy came to the national team one time back when he was still a professional, and I think we did a few rounds at one stage. I can't really remember. Like, I was pretty young at the time, and Andy was probably just moving around with me, but it was yeah, we did a few rounds way back in the day, and as I says, look, Andy is he's an absolute credit to our country for what he has done.
So can I get a final prediction exactly how you see the fight playing out with Shane Mosley Jr.?
I see me getting out of that ring with my head held high, my hands held high, and a great performance and a good victory.
And before I let you go, Jason, I just wanted to ask you about a couple other big fights. You know, well, Tyson Fury, you know, he's from England, but he's an Irishman by descent, like yourself, right? Yeah. How do you think a third fight with Deontay Wilder will go?
I think that Fury's just going to probably do very, very similar to what he done in the last fight. The only thing is, there's always that danger with Wilder. He has that sensational power that can leave Tyson on his back, like he had done in the very first fight. But you know, Tyson has already taken his best shot and gotten up from it. So you know, what else can he bring to the table? But yeah, I can definitely see a convincing one for Fury there.
Can a guy, you know, Wilder, athletic and talented, but he is 35, hasn't fought in 15 months now. Can a guy in that circumstance still get better?
Well, you look at the circumstances Fury came from. Like he was out of the, yeah, do you know what I mean? If he can do that, come back and do what he done, you know, anybody can. And I think in the heavyweight division, they age a lot better than the lower divisions as well.
Right.
You know, you see a lot of heavyweights going on into their late 30s, so I wouldn't really take that into consideration too much. But yeah, I still see Fury a convincing winner.
That's a great point, though, Jason, that you made. If you come back from 400 pounds and drugs, why can't Wilder come back from?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Exactly.
Jason, thanks so much again, brother, for all your time today. Happy birthday, man. Great fight.
Appreciate it, Sean.
Oh, you got it, man. You got it. Please do me a favor and eat a lot of birthday food once the fight's over. You know, make up for not eating today.
Don't worry, I have it all planned out already.
Thanks, mate. Have a great fight. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Sean. Thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, brother.